Hello YouTube, it's Riley once again with another action figure review. This time I have the House of X Wolverine figure from the House of X Marvel Legends Tri-Sentinel Build-A-Figure Wave. The box is too big to fit in the light box, so I kind of do it like this. But basically, here's the front of the box. You have the X-Men logo, symbols down there, Hasbro branding. On the top of the box, you have the standard Marvel Legends. Of course, the figure and the packaging. I really like their box styles that they're doing now, where they're kind of more hexagonal shaped, like that. And so anyways, here's the side of the box, which you have a picture from the comic, and then you have the House of X logo again. And in the back of the box, you have that same picture, and then the little bio of Wolverine himself. And then you have more symbols up there, which I really don't know what they're from because I never actually read the comic book. I would love to read House of X and Dawn of X. I know they have the omnibus. Seemed really complicated, so I didn't know where to start, so I didn't even try. So here's the Tri-Sentinel you have at the bottom. Then you have all the figures that make him, Wolverine being the one that does not come with a Build-A-Figure piece. And then you have the little warning labels at the bottom. Marvel down there, nothing at the bottom, more warning labels. And the other side, exact same as the other side. So let's get it opened up and get into the actual review. Alright, before I started this review, I would like to apologize if you hear anything in the background. My brother's currently fixing the bathroom, and then I don't know what else is going on, but just wanted to put that disclaimer there. And also, I do take the film out of my light box, so it looks a little weird right now. If anyone has any light box suggestions of like a good size for reviewing 6-inch action figures, let me know. But otherwise, here's Wolverine standing straight up and down. The accessory that he comes with is his alternate bearded head sculpt here, which happens to be not glued in all the way. The really only flaws that I have with this figure is exactly what everybody else that I've seen reviewing it. They all have the same sort of paint problems here, where like throughout, like it's all molded in brown plastic and then yellow over it. So for one, it looks a little off. The lines aren't perfect. So basically just Hasbro poor quality control like always. And I really think that sucks because, I mean, yeah, I can look over it, but still it's gonna like bother me. And that's just nitpicking, but not really so, because on my figure, this one doesn't even, like this arm doesn't even look like it's completely painted all the way. It looks green on both sides. And then the other one is getting there, like almost the same. And then this looks green right here, like this whole side. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera. It looks like there's just a lack of yellow. There's green there. Like, I don't know why, but it's like mostly green throughout all the yellows. Of course, except on the head where it's actually painted, and then right there, not painted, where it's actually plastic, and then it's painted on the nose, which the nose paint on my particular figure, this head sculpt at least, doesn't look terrible. The Old Man Logan has it looks a little green on that one. But otherwise, just nitpicking the paint. It's a solid figure throughout. The sculpt is nice. The arms, everything just looks decent as you would expect. I don't have any other figures yet. I'll review those when I get them, the other figures in the wave. This came out about 2019, 2020-ish, so it's been out for a couple years now. And I don't remember if I said this in the intro, but I don't really know anything about the comics themselves. The House of X, Powers of X, Dawn of X, all of that new X-Men stuff I would like to read, but it's like $100 for the House of X, Powers of X omnibus right now. So for now, I'm just going to deal with the figures, and I've watched a little bit of YouTube, so like I know a little bit of what it's about. But you don't really need to know, for this particular figure, anything about the comic books, which I like. It just looks like a solid comic book version Wolverine. And of course, you've seen him in his brown and yellow costume before, so you could put it in other displays as well. The claws, as always, are not perfect because they're plastic, so the one in the middle on mine is a little bit warped. It won't stay. But on this side, it's pretty good. So I don't really have any complaints with it. Other than that, the articulation, the head goes up about that high, down as much as you would want it to. Rotates 360, of course, and then there's a little bit of tilt, which you can't really tilt, but there's enough. And then the arms, because they have butterfly joints, you can take them back to get that claw pose there, and then forward all the way across. The shoulders rotate 360. There's a bicep swivel. You have a double jointed elbow, except his biceps are so big it can barely get 90. There is, of course, wrist rotation, and then there's a hinge, which my figure still has tight joints. So there you go. There's a little bit of plastic. Can't tell on camera, but it's sort of warped right there and chipped away, which is not great. Sure, that's just from whenever they were making the mold. And then the chest will go back, crunch all the way forward. It is also a waist swivel that goes 360. The belt is a separate piece, so that kind of hides the articulation for you. Forward, barely back, and then side to side, barely, as you'd expect. There's, of course, a thigh swivel there. There's double jointed knees, which give a great range of motion. There's no calf swivel right there. The foot hinges forward that much, which is barely, and then all the way back, and then you can rotate around, and then you can also do something like this as well. So there you go. There's peg holes for stands, and that's pretty much it for the articulation, and that's pretty much it for the whole review. I don't really have any figures to compare them to in the X-Men line. So there you go. My final thoughts. It's a out of 10. I'd probably give it like a 7 or an 8 because everything except for the paint is annoying. Or everything except for the paint is great, but the paintwork is annoying because it is Hasbro and they just simply put, they suck at quality control. Like even on this head sculpt, you can tell that the beard goes too far and the brown doesn't go far enough. There's flesh tone on like what should still be part of the mask. And then since it was molded in brown, the skin tone is a little bit greenish because there's just not enough paint right there. So like under his nose, you get a little bit of that green, grayish coloring that I'm not a fan of. And then that's basically it. So thank you all for watching. Look out for another X-Men Marvel Legends review. And I hope you all have a good day. See you next time.